Hello, my name is Andrew, and this is my first video review. And I'm super happy to start with a title from the Super Nintendo library, Breath of Fire, by Capcom. Not Squaresoft, but we'll get to that later. I hope you're ready for a look at a classic 16-bit JRPG, because we're about to prepare for a fantastic quest full of swords and boomerangs, magic and dragon shape-shifting, all displayed in a visually beautiful game with endearing music and even backtracking actually done right. Let's get started. Enter Capcom, the company best known for numerous game styles, with examples like their extensive offerings of beat-em-ups like Final Fight, Knights of the Round, and King of Dragons. Also, platformers such as the Mega Man series, and competitive fighting games like Street Fighter. Oh, let's not forget their sports titles. No, wait, let's continue to forget those. However, most of us did not associate Capcom with RPGs up to this point in time. As far as I even know, the licensed movie game Willow and the now cult classic Sweet Home were their only RPGs, and even those had other genres mixed in together. Oh, what a mess! Ugh! It was time for a more typical role-playing game. Capcom began development of Breath of Fire with producer Tokoro Fujiwara. This is the guy behind Ghosts and Goblins and many other amazing Capcom hits, like Little Nemo, Gargoyle's Quest, and DuckTales. Seriously, this guy has such a drool-worthy list of games he's worked on, and I could spend half the review just gushing about his works. The Mega Man illustrator and co-designer Keiji Inafune did the original concept art, but was replaced by Tatsuya Yoshikawa, who would become the series' character designer from here on out. Now, where did I put that game? Oh god, it could be anywhere. If only I was organized like other people on YouTube. Oh my god, it's at my parents' house! Finally, released on the Super Famicom, April 1993, Breath of Fire did well enough to obviously and thankfully cause the Capcom heads to consider a North American release. Capcom needed to localize the game to our side of the world before they could sell it here. Since they weren't used to translating such a text-heavy game, and since they were working on Breath of Fire's sequel back in Japan, they decided to let another company handle this, Squaresoft. These guys were already used to porting a few titles over and set translator veteran Ted Woolsey upon the script. You'll know his characteristic translations from other games like Final Fantasy, Secret of Mana, and Chrono Trigger. Though not perfect, overall it's very well done. So Capcom did a good move by outsourcing the script translation. A few character names got changed to fit the 4-letter length, and one of them even had to deal with a total makeover to smooth over international sensibilities. That's not too bad. It could be worse. Yikes! But hey, look! They gave him some sweet sideburns. By the way, you can't create a new game without entering a name for your hero, despite it almost working. I had trouble starting a new game this way. I almost had a meltdown wondering why I failed to even start the game. Starting the game up, we learn about an ancient, mighty empire known as the Dragon Clan, who had a short-lived run during which many lives were thrown away in meaningless battles. Now we find out that the cycle is about to renew with a new clan of Dark Dragons. The world is about to be thrown into chaos as the Dark Dragons grow in power, fueled by a mysterious goddess. After naming your hero, you awake in a room of your village. Fires erupt everywhere, burning the rooftop. The local hero, your sister Sarah, turns everyone to stone and then heads out to face the enemy commander. A fight ensues, but whatever happens to Sarah is unknown as you and the rest of the villagers return to flesh and bone. Enough of the background story, let's just dive in. Gameplay here is what we'd expect from any classic RPG. We will only be walking in one of 4 directions. One button is used to talk, search, and use, and another to access our menu screen. We have the very interesting option to reconfigure every button on the controller. I find this super useful to help me control which buttons does what to my specifications. The party is split into 2 sections, the front half and the back. The first 4 characters all march together on the screen and will engage in battle. The back row may be invisible, but they can be swapped out at any time to the front. We explore the game in an overworld where we can discover and access peaceful towns, numerous dungeons, foreboding towers, and even exotic beaches. Battles go down like what we'd expect. Give orders to each character, such as attack, magic, defend, or item use. Basic attacks are fairly weak at the start of the game. Thankfully, we have magic to even the odds. Standard healing, buffing, and attack magic all exist. We also have an auto battle option that works great for when we want everyone to attack. Running away is a valid option, and I recommend gambling with it to avoid death or simple opponents. It won't work every time, and we can't flee from bosses. When it comes to winning fights, we should mop up the opposition fairly easily. Regular battles are not too difficult or frequent, and with such a huge inventory, we should have enough healing items to keep the party going. Boss fights go down differently. Prepare for long, drawn-out marathon battles. Not only do bosses have plenty of hit points, but they get right back up when we think we've killed them. Prior to this, we can see their life meters slowly tick down as our meager attacks whittle it away. Once they've entered round 2, we can't determine their life meter anymore. It could be a few more hits or what feels like we've just started all over again. This isn't a bad thing. It's a nice touch that adds to the tension and sense of accomplishment upon victory. Our hero is a blue-haired kid with an attitude ready to take on anything. Look at that wild expression, that's priceless. Like I mentioned earlier, you must input a name for the hero. That said, he does have a default canon name, Ryu. I'm not going to argue over how to pronounce it, and at this point I've butchered enough Japanese names. Suffice to say, Ryu can refer to dragon in Japanese. Since he traces his roots to the Dragon Clan, this makes sense. This is also appropriate considering the Capcom influence of Street Fighter. If only Chun-Li was recruitable. Coincidence or not, the subtitle of this game is The Dragon Warrior, compared to Street Fighter's The World Warrior. As most main characters go, Ryu will be joining every group for the lion's share of the adventure. A few plot moments will exclude him, but even when he's around, we're allowed to leave Ryu out of the battle group as we play. We'll want him around anyway, as he works as a solid meat shield and comes with some devastating attacks. 2 styles in fact. His swords will slice into one enemy with a concentrated hit, but it's his boomerangs, which swoop across the entire field hitting every enemy, that we'll be making good use of in combat. Aside from his manual attack, Ryu also learns the title track of the game, Breathing Fire. This is more than a simple attack. Ryu's human body will metamorphose into a dragon to barrage the enemy turn after turn with various offensive attacks, depending on the dragon of choice. Initial forms offer great boons, and it's imperative to go after each new dragon during gameplay. We earn these by visiting Dragon Clan outposts throughout the overworld. The final form is required for a proper ending. It's not only a cool ability, it's vital to saving the world. He's not a bad fisherman either, and you will have opportunities to go fishing throughout. This is vital to earning some truly epic loot later in the game, with the right pole and bait. Ryu's first teammate is a young girl with wings named Nina. As a princess, she hails from the kingdom of Winland. With beautiful angelic white wings, red suit and boots, golden tiara, and wielding thrusting blades, Nina plays the part of the attractive female lead. This is not our average princess. Yes, we have to save her, but that's only because she took off with 2 royal guards and went to get revenge on the nearby undead wizard hell-bent on destroying her people.
How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit?
She's terribly weak in both attack and defense, so don't expect much from her. Thankfully, she doubles as our healer and close friend throughout the adventure. By the way, all of the Breath of Fire games feature Ryu and Nina. These are recurring characters, but they are not the same from game to game. The rest of the characters we run across each offer a new game mechanic that allows us to do something new, like picking open locked doors, smashing weakened walls, and digging holes to hidden chambers. I'll let you discover their existence as you play instead of going over each one. They all have a lovable charm to them that you'll enjoy meeting and recruiting. A notable character is Karn, who can learn secret transformation spells that combines him with one or more other characters. Finding them will require use of our party's special skills. Never know what we'll find behind a wall in a dark corner of town. These transformation skills are amazing, and it's always exciting to try out a new form when you get one. Keep in mind, when combined, those fused characters will gray out and become unavailable to do anything. To be honest here, a lot of these guys are not that useful. Sure, they're cute and friendly, and I got attached to them like anyone else would. Yet, when you compare them to Ryu's power and defense, or Karn's fusions, you'll be wondering who is left to throw into the party, especially for combat. Thankfully, Karn's fusions take up some of the guesswork out by tying up characters. However, you'll still have 2 spots for some lackluster allies. Their attacks offer little in terms of damage, and Nina can just heal after the battle, so go ahead and send her to the back row. Let me point out that to earn EXP, no one needs to be out on the front lines of combat. They will level up regardless of their situation. Most of these characters end up spending 99% of the time dragging their feet in the back until the end. To sum it up, I would say, finally, someone decent for the group. Eventually, this sorceress joins the party and brings with her a long list of attack magic. She'll be slinging all sorts of offensive magic, disrupting the enemy forces far better than the other teammates. Just be sure to watch her AP. She gains levels quite fast and will surpass the heroes in short order. Also, she is the 3rd character who makes repeated appearances in other Breath of Fire games. Phew! Okay, we got a group forming up all sorts of different races and backgrounds found across the lands. But where do we go from here? It's a big world, and don't worry about threats of a separate dark world. A neat feature of this game is the day and night cycles. Spending time in the overworld will take us from morning to afternoon to evening and the dead of night. This carries on for when you enter towns or other outdoor locations. It's a nice touch that gives the world a sense of existence. Consequences of an evening at town should be obvious. Expect townsfolk to be resting at home, except merchants who seem to be out an intense 24 hours a day. Most of the time, and I repeat, most of the time, feel free to ignore whichever hour it is. During your travels though, you may want to use this to your advantage. Say a pair of guards blocking an entrance to a town during the day. Try coming back at night and see if their routine changes. As Breath of Fire pulls from classic safe RPG design choices, you can uncover a full spectrum of terrestrial biomes. Grassy hills, volcanic activity, ancient giant golem robot things, expansive deserts, and a frickin' ice level. Ahem! Grassy hills, volcanic activity, ancient giant golem robot things, expansive deserts,
Welcome to the desert rain.
And a freaking ice level. No, it's not that hard. The dungeon layouts offer up typical RPG dungeon crawls. No hidden walls or secret doors this time. And choosing the wrong corridor will deny us potential treasure chests, but most dungeons can and are encouraged to be backtracked. One area in particular is a headache-inducing machine that we're going to want a map or explanation before attempting. Props to those who complete it without. As just mentioned, fans of backtracking will enjoy the chance to re-explore visited towns and previously conquered dungeons with a new character in tow. These will open up access to treasure chests or even something special. Jot down in a notepad or your favorite digital device of places where you may have seen a locked door or weakened wall. Each new character or fusion can potentially bring us more than just another sidekick. I recommend revisiting areas at every chance. Don't let those locked doors remain locked until the end of the game. But to be fair, for those of us who do not enjoy backtracking, most of this can be skipped or ignored. these are mostly bonus areas for us to discover to get some new gear or learn new tricks. Towns are our ticket to additional lore and background noise. The secrets hide in these homes and buildings, so be sure to explore every nook and cranny and leave no stone unturned. Or in this case, no door locked up and no wall undemoed. And please, don't trust anyone given a free night's sleep in a shady part of town. As we explore and further our grand adventure, the enemy forces become aware of our progress. Cutscenes appear like out of a cliched anime. A rare scene is even cinematic with visuals like an animated comic. The big bad Zog discusses orders with his underlings, and he will send them to stop us before we can further interfere with their plans. Still, they are enjoyable, and you will eagerly await the arrival and confrontation of said goons. Breath of Fire's graphics are rather average. No one will have to guess what is on screen, but you won't be blown away by much of any Mode 7 visuals. Dungeon layouts are not too complicated to figure out, but it does sometimes use familiar templates that could confuse you. Also, what's up with these dungeons? Am I descending into hell or what? I just got here from entering a castle in town. Either way, it's cool. I love exploring these places. Breath of Fire shines above many other RPGs when it comes to how combat is portrayed. Our characters' sprites are now bigger, isometric, and with animation, as are each of the enemies and bosses. The battles offer a feel of intensity as our character smacks it with his weapon, causing the thing to just bug out. I love how the amoeba blobs slowly and visibly disintegrate to nothing as they lose life. I cannot praise this enough, especially when we compare this game to other highly regarded titles like Final Fantasy VI with its flat 2D art and no animation. Our world still needs saving, and we'll get there quest by quest in a linear fashion. Each offers exciting adventures like castle infiltrating, various dungeon delving, dream exploring, and ocean explorations. We'll hop from quest to quest with rewards which usually involve access to more of the world. Let's go over one just for kicks. In the port town of Aria, you will need access to one of the ships to further hunt down the meddlesome dark dragons. Now, before you can trim the sails and roam the sea, the captain tells you to talk to the ship's owner, Ross. Ross won't give you access until you can help him out. To earn his trust, unlock the safe holding his daughter hostage downstairs. You're unable to pick the lock, but you learn about the thieves from Bleak. You'll need to pass through a cave to get to Bleak. In Bleak, you're told Karn may be able to unlock the door, who has gone off to Crypt. To get to Crypt, you need to enter the desert. To get to the desert, you need to pass through another cave. To exit the cave, you need the icicle. To get the icicle, you need a gold bar. To buy a gold bar, you need 60,000 G. This is more than you'll have available at this time. To raise funds, you need to cure hiccups with vitamins, steal and pawn a golden tiara, force Nita into regrettable decisions, blackmail an innkeeper, learn about a missing son, find said missing son, and make a promise to some fairies to free the son. With a gold bar in hand, make the trade for the icicle. Work your way back through the cave, enter the desert, and find Crypt. To access Crypt, you need a fife to avoid the sandstorm. To get the fife, agree to kill the worm in the Oasis town. Return to Crypt, use the fife, and climb in. Fight the boss, loot the treasure, get trapped, and meet the thief. The thief says you can't pick the lock until he continues his quest. Get his confidence up, drag him back to Aria, and unlock the safe to rescue the daughter. Get denied access to the ship again by Ross. Learn from his daughter that her mother was always the voice of reason. Enter the tower near Bleak. Climb to the top. Get the dark key and the mirror. Talk to Ross. Use the mirror to show the visage of the dead wife. Agree to confront the dark dragons. Get the light key and head to the docks. Destroy the opposition and gain access to the ship. Except... should you play this game? It's a bit easy to get into for non-RPG fans, though genre veterans will find this title lacking in difficulty. Still, it's a fun diversion with plenty to explore. It has a lighthearted feel to it, and avoids taking risks with weird concepts. Lost opportunities like fleshing out the magic system better or giving the characters better combat usage would have given the game more of a professional polish. But that's where Breath of Fire shines. It's got charm. Little details like the drip of water while entering a new dungeon, the sun setting after leaving town into the wilderness, the happy faces of your comrades on the menu screen, eating food left out on someone's table, shooting wild animals for healing items, and even the cheesy story will all give you fond memories to hold on to and remember. But thanks for sticking around, and I hope you've enjoyed looking at Breath of Fire. My name is Andrew, and take care.